Hello, hello. Gabrielle Celeste here. Welcome to another episode for my YouTube channel. I am an intuitive astrologist. I am a tarot reader, numerologist, all the things, and I co-host the Spiritual Sisters podcast with my siblings, as well as own the company AGUA Astrology. So welcome to another episode. We're going to be talking today about what I consider to be my personal area of expertise, if you will, and that is timelines. Timelines. Say that 3 times fast. So timelines. I just want to say that there's so much to be said about timelines, and I don't think that there's ever a way to really know all there is to know about timelines. And I say that because I do believe that there are multiple realities happening at once and that there are multiple dimensions available to us at once. And I believe, and I've said this in previous episodes on my platform as well as on my podcast, that I really believe that intuitives, energy readers, are sensing the timelines that are based on what the planetary transits are essentially doing and where they're going. And readers that are reading 2 to 3 years down the road, even a couple weeks or months out, but the further out that you can read, it's my personal belief that that's a reflection of one's skill set. And it really speaks to the skill set and the time invested for the reader that is looking into that energy. What I've noticed to be true about the timelines and the transits is that major transits, so at time of recording, we're in 2025, and all of the major planets, the outer planets, have officially changed signs. So Jupiter is now in Cancer, Saturn is currently in Aries, Uranus is in Gemini, Neptune is in Aries, and Pluto is in Aquarius. And altogether, that is once in a lifetime astrology. It is a combination of planets in those signs all happening at once that we will never again see in our lifetimes, because as humans, we do not live that long. And it's really the energy of like changing of the guards. So when those transits occurred, those were major platform type shifts. It's almost kind of like a system upgrade, if you will, but they're also really, really potent core portals of opportunity, timeline shifts, timeline jumps. So anytime that a major transit like that occurs, and of course it's going to make a difference as to where it applies in your chart, it is a really important moment and opportunity to timeline shift, if you will. And I think that can be said as well for eclipses. So eclipses typically, not always, but typically they occur at least 2 times a year, about give or take every 6 months. You can have more than that in a year. It really just depends on like what the nodes of fate are doing and what constellations they are orbiting through. And I would say alongside major transits like those that I just listed, as well as eclipses, those are just really core opportunities to change directions, if you will. I also believe that what is meant for you will not miss you. And I do think that with that being said, it's important to speak to free will and fate, which I think is also just like another topic that we did a podcast episode on that. So feel free to check that out. But you and your free will, so depending on the choices that you make, will totally affect the timelines that you pretty much will jump onto, or which path per se, if you will, is what is you're going to essentially like where you're going to end up. And I do think free will, like I said, like I don't think that what's meant for you will miss you, but you could prolong maybe desired outcomes depending on that free will. So say, for example, you are really just desiring a partner, but you also feel called to move to another place, maybe say across the country, and your energy reader, and of course, practice your own discernment. but your energy reader is saying, like, hey, I don't really see someone for you across the country. I see them more local to where you're currently based out of. Choosing to take a longer path, longer timeline, is essentially going to reroute you towards, and delaying maybe, towards your highest, not only timeline, but desired outcome based off of the free will, which everyone has. So, timelines are kind of funky because they're concurrently happening all at once. And there are, slower timelines, higher timelines, faster, most aligned timelines for your greatest and highest good. But ultimately, you're going to have the best idea of what is to occur, and more specifically when, depending on your specific birth chart, and really getting a close look at that and understanding how it works, how said transits are affecting you, where they're affecting you in your chart, and how to best navigate them. So, if you are interested in a reading, an astrological reading, an intuitive reading, I will link where you can find me below. I would love to hold space for you and to observe what timelines are coming up for you per the transits in the sky. And thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.